Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm here to do a full breakdown of the trailer we got for Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. I posted a video earlier talking about, that the new characters and the plane that we saw in the trailer, but today I want to talk about the trailer in its entirety, going shot by shot. So with that being said, let's get started. So Fear the Walking Dead Season 5 is looking promising. This trailer is spot on. We got some new characters, this new militarized group. We got Planes, Dwight, Daniel, they're back. It's exciting. And I can't wait for Fear. They're definitely doing a good job of hyping it up, and obviously that's their job. But this season is gonna have a big part in the bigger universe, so that's like the big part of why I'm interested. And it looks like this new militarized group, they're doing like tests on stuff on walkers, which is just interesting. Just that on its own is interesting, so I can't wait for it. So the trailer opens up with Morgan talking on the radio, saying that anybody out there listening, hold on, we're gonna come help. And it's obviously a continuation from season 4, the finale, when they were first gonna go to Alexandria, which I really wish they would, but I still think they are. Maybe that's the big crossover event, but that's for a different discussion. But they decided not to go to Alexandria last minute, and they want to continue what Polar Bear was doing, that character that Luciana ran into, and help people with the trucks. And then the trailer actually picks up with some dead walkers here. There's a fire, and shit's obviously going bad. And I love the tone in the trailer and the color. I know a big problem with last season was people hated that black and white and that whole like dull color aspect of Fear, which I'm not gonna lie was a bit annoying. And it looks like this season they're not gonna really go full on with that, but we'll see. But so far from the trailer, I do like the colorization. Next, we got Morgan saying that we've been helping people for a while, but we just haven't had any luck. And he's saying it to this girl right here. And this girl, she pops up a few times around the trailer, so she's gonna be an interesting character who could possibly be connected with that new group we're getting. And then speaking of the new group, we have these signs here on these cars: danger, keep out, caution. And we have this biohazard sign. So that's obviously from that group with the hazmat suits. Next, we got a shot of all these walker heads just tied up on this tree from their hair. And this is definitely time consuming, so whoever did this is a weirdo. But this is definitely a weird and scary shot. And there's a couple scary shots throughout the trailer, and the reason I bring that up is because we saw how much The Walking Dead Season 9 benefited from being more scary and going back to its original horror TV show roots. So it's going to be interesting, and I really hope, and I'm assuming the Fear the Walking Dead is going to do the same thing, because both critics and fans definitely appreciated The Walking Dead Season 9 for going back to its roots. Next, we hear that young girl talk. It's kind of like a voiceover while we're watching other footage, but she tells Morgan that you have no clue where you landed, do you? And then Morgan says, you don't have to be scared, and then she says that that's what everybody says when there's a reason to be scared. Now, I don't want to jump to any conclusions or anything, but that was a very interesting choice of words to use by that young lady. She said, you have no clue where you landed. And by landed, when you think of somebody landing, maybe it's just me, but the first thing that came to me was a helicopter or a plane. Now, we do see a plane crashing in this trailer, so maybe they're just kind of, because the trailer seems to fool fans, so maybe she's not even talking to Morgan here, and she's talking to whoever crashed that plane, and they somehow landed into their land or their territory, or just maybe they came from a different state or something happened, but they just crashed into a bad place, because some weird shit is definitely going on here. So that would make sense why she would be like, you have no clue where you landed, do you? But again, it doesn't have to mean an airplane or anything like that. It could just mean like, you have no clue where you came to. And then while we're hearing this conversation, we have a couple of shots of the characters. We have Morgan here, we have Alicia looking through these gates, John and Morgan are behind her. We have John here with his gun up, and we're going to talk about John in a second, because I love what they did with him in this trailer, and I think if that's what his character is going to be like, because it definitely brought like a western feel to the trailer towards the end. And obviously Garrett Delahunt, he's played a lot of western characters, like he was in No Country for Old Men, he was in Deadwood. Like, he's a character who they can mess around with like that. So I like how they brought that western aspect to the show. Moving on, we got Al here. She has a bruise on her forehead, which we're going to see later on again in the trailer. And then we have this setup from the Walkers, which kind of reminds me of what the Saviors did back in season 6, the finale. And then we have the shot of that girl, which kind of finishes off what she was saying about, you don't know where you just landed. But the scenery is different here. So that's what I mean. In the previous shot, when she's with Morgan, they're in the woods. And that's probably like the first encounter. And then this could be, she could possibly be talking to somebody totally different here. So that's why I pointed that out. And then going back to what I said with the Saviors, how it kind of reminded me of the Saviors tying up the Walkers to get in the way of, the Alexandrians. Whoever this group is definitely is more twisted, because they literally tied them up. Like, look at this. They have like their guts all over them and just like super weird. They have ropes there too, but yeah, this is definitely a frightening shot of a Walker. I mean, he has guts all over his neck. But the group is obviously, stopped by this, and then we have that girl. So I think it's gonna be, probably early on in the season where they're gonna find her, and then she might join the group. But I do think she's gonna be connected with this military group. Maybe she's gonna be the daughter of somebody who works there or something. But we're gonna see her more throughout the trailer. And then we have a shot of these Walkers trying to get these birds that are up here, and obviously somebody planted this here. And I think somebody's gonna be capturing Walkers because they want to do experiments on them. And I talked more about that in my other video when I talked about how this whole thing is most likely related to Rick and his exit and the group he's going to. And that group, Jadis was communicating with, it looks like that group wanted to do like experiments on people, right? Because they wanted Jadis to, get Walkers to bite people, and then they were going to trade them for food or whatever. So this group looks like they're doing experiments on Walkers, so it could be the same group essentially. And then we have a shot of these Walkers like trying to get through this. I don't know what this is, this cloth fabric. I don't know. This is what I mean. Like, this is a kind of like a scary shot to look at, right? Like, I like scenes like this. And then we have Luciana running up, and she's saying that she's holding her gun here, but the next scene she's inside this building and she's saying, this place, we can't stay here. So maybe they get caught up by these people, maybe they capture them, or maybe they maybe kind of like how the governor, similar to the governor when Michonne and Andrea went there, and then they never let them leave, and then they slowly were figuring out like some bad shit's happening there. Something could happen here where this group looks to be welcoming them, and then they go to this community, and then they slowly realize that these people are bad and they want to leave. And then we have the group carrying Al here, and she's like knocked out, or somebody is carrying them. I'm assuming it's a group, but it could be a different group. And she's knocked out here. So yeah, definitely some weird stuff's happening. And the music in this trailer, I'm assuming everybody's watched it by now, like the music in this trailer and the whole atmosphere and vibe is super creepy. Next, we got a shot of two kids here. We have this dude and this other kid, and somebody yells down, and they duck, and an airplane literally crashes into the ground. Now, I don't know what to make of this scene. I have little ideas of what it could be. I mean, I was like pausing it at every little angle to see if I could potentially see that symbol that was on the helicopter that took Rick away, but no luck. I couldn't see anything. But imagine how cool it would have been if, we see that symbol. Now, I don't know who's in the airplane or where they came from, if they came from somewhere close or super far away or what, but that's what I mean when I said in the beginning of the trailer that girl's like, you have no clue where you landed. Maybe she's talking about whoever came out of this airplane. But I can't wait to find out what this airplane and what the deal is. And I think there's going to be more of a purpose than just the airplane crashing. Either they're going to fix the airplane and they're going to use it again, or whoever comes out of the airplane is going to have a big purpose. Because obviously an airplane is a big deal to bring onto The Walking Dead. So I don't think they just brought it on to crash it. I think there's going to be more to it. But we're going to have to wait and find out. Next, we got Strand here at gunpoint, and he's holding his hands up and he's kind of making a plea for himself and saying like, can we take a minute? And you know who's the other end of this? Bum. You guys already probably knew because this trailer came out yesterday, but it's our boy Daniel Salazar. He's back. I remember. He was gone all of last season. Every single episode, everybody's been waiting for him to come back. And he's back. And he says a funny line. He says, "You still talk too much, Victor." So I don't know if he's going to be on his own or part of a community. He potentially could be part of a community because look at the back. It's like a wall here. So maybe he's part of a small community, and Strand comes across his community. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. But yeah, look behind Strand. There's like a bunch of walls. So I do think it's gonna be like a mini community there. And then we have that what I was talking about earlier with the western feel. We have this city that's or this town I should say, that's like super windy. We have John here with his gun, and then we got June covering her face because obviously it's super windy here. And then we have Morgan inside this building talking to I believe he's gonna be talking to Alicia here. You know what, he could actually be talking to Dwight because we don't get to see who he's talking to in the trailer, but he might be talking to Dwight because he has some interesting dialogue here which I think could pertain to Dwight. Morgan is having like a little bit of an inspirational speech. He's saying like there's no way you can really protect yourself. You can't just be putting a gun in your hand all the time, and he's saying that you have to be open to possibility and people. So I could definitely see how that, you know, little conversation could pertain to Dwight. And while we're listening to Morgan talk, we have some interesting you know, footage. We have Morgan here killing this walker underneath that bird cage, and then we have Charlie here, and then we have somebody, and they I can't tell who that is because it's very dark here, but whoever this is, Charlie's in the same scene as them, and it looks like they found like an airplane because there's obviously an airplane underneath this. And then the next shot, we have I think that's Strand, and he opens the door, and we have like there's boats here and a bunch of cars. So this could potentially be them in the community, or you know, around the area that they're gonna run into these people, these hazmat military people, because whatever this is, this area looks to be pretty well established, and you know, looks to be doing pretty good. You got like airplanes and cars and boats, and it looks pretty good. So it definitely looks to like it could belong to somebody that's, you know, part of a military group. And I like how the footage we're seeing kind of goes hand in hand with Morgan's speech, because he's saying like, you know, you have to be open to people and possibility, and we have like everybody kind of happy here. We have Luciana and this kid that I was talking about earlier. They're raising like this radio tower. Now that radio tower again is going to be very important, because in order, if they're ever going to take off for some reason, I don't know how it's going to happen, we have to wait to see, or they're going to go somewhere super far away, they need to have proof that somebody's there. Like, you're not just gonna hit the road for no reason, right? If they get some sort of signal that somebody, like maybe they run into some people on the radio and they tell them about the community, or these new people they're running into, maybe they tell them about a new community. But whatever the case is, it looks like they're heading somewhere big. And could that big place be the Walking Dead main show? I know that's a popular theory out there. I know I've been saying it since last summer. If you go watch I made a video like last summer talking about how I want this crossover to happen. I think it makes sense, you know, because now with The Walking Dead being a big universe like this, the characters are what's important. It doesn't matter what show they're on, you know, the characters, they can have story on either show. So if they want to close up Fear the Walking Dead and boot up like a new series, yeah, go for it. You know, just make the characters come to the main show, and I think everyone's going to be fine with that. I don't know who wouldn't. And then we have a shot of the group here sitting in this building, and they have a cat in front of them, and they're feeding the cat. And then we have Al rock climbing for some reason. And she has a helmet on, so I don't know what's going on here. And then we have all these kids here. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of, like, maybe Strand kids just all over the place. Maybe they're part of a community that, you know, maybe they're part of that military community and they don't really stand up for what they do and the kids leave or something. Or maybe they're part of a community that fell. But whatever the case is, they're going to be running into like a group of kids this season. And then we have a couple more shots of the kids. We have this kid reading that book that Luciana had, and then we had those two kids that witnessed the airplane crash. And that's why we have all that fire and stuff, because obviously that's what's going to cause, you know, the fire and everything being destroyed here is that airplane crash. And then we got Alicia and Morgan laying down here looking at something. They're obviously pretty shocked. And then we got this guy dropping his bags, and this is probably the same guy who we will see later on pointing a gun at John. We got Wendell here, and this is where shit gets pretty crazy. They're firing. There's a bunch of walkers. And then we have, it's a very quick like paced action sequence of the trailer going on here. We got June here with her gun up, and then we got John up with the gun, and then we got Al here. We got Alicia on the ground and she fell down, and look at the sign, high radiation area. So there's gonna be a walker we're gonna see in just a minute with that obviously got affected by radiation. And like I said, you know, somebody out here is messing with these walkers, and I think it's all going to be connected with this group with the hazmat suit that we're going to see in a second. We got somebody here, I can't tell who that is. I want to say Daniel, but it's hard to tell for sure, but somebody is drawing the walkers away with the radio. Obviously, we got Al messing around with that radio, and who knows, maybe Fear the Walking Dead is gonna have a big setup with the radio too. Like we saw Luciana and that kid putting up the radio tower. So I do think the radio is gonna come into effect now, since the universe is confirmed to be like people are gonna be all over the place. We should expect people to pop up on radios here and there. So with that being said, look at this shot. What I was talking about earlier with those people who tied up the walkers. This is just so weird. They get their guts and they just tie them up. I don't know. This group is weird, man. I'm excited to find out what their deal is. We got the cat here, and the walkers are looking at the cat like it's a meal, which it probably is for them. But hopefully that cat doesn't die. We already saw Daryl's dog being beloved by fans. I can definitely see this cat with the same deal. Next we got Lucy and June here, and it looks like she's probably June is like a doctor, a nurse, so she's gonna probably be stitching up because we see that little cut on her shoulder there, so she's probably injured. And then this is interesting because that scene I was talking about earlier, with Morgan and Alicia on the ground, we have it again, but the leaves are flying all over the place. So you know what this kind of makes you think? That this could be connected to either with that helicopter or with that airplane scene in the beginning, where the airplane is like crashing. Maybe that's why all the leaves are blowing, or it could be a helicopter that's possibly landing down. And when a helicopter lands, when you see those movies or even real life, when a helicopter lands, like everything around is like blowing all over the place because it's definitely, very fast, so that it could be that, it could be a helicopter landing. I think that would be crazy. Imagine if it's the same helicopter as Rick's. I mean, I would love that so much. Next, we got Al. She's tied up here in the back of a truck or van or something, and she's trying to let herself go. So again, that's probably just some group that they're gonna run into. Hopefully it's gonna be like one group this season, and they focus and definitely flesh out the characters, because last season we had like Martha, and we had that one other dude who was a wannabe Negan. I forgot his name. That's how bad he was. I'm sorry, but just some like I wanted to focus on groups and villains and make them actually good. So this group, whatever they're running into here, it looks to have the potential. But moving on, we got June here looking outside of a window. This is nothing that important. We got the group here getting ready to fight some walkers. We got Al here in the dark, and it's raining, and it looks like she's gonna run into somebody here, because I don't know who this is. We just see a stick. I don't know who that could be, but she's gonna be running into somebody here. We got John back here. We got Alicia, Morgan, and they're messing around with that radio again. So again, so much radio, a lot of radio emphasis. We got the group killing some walkers. Like I said, some very fast-paced action again in the trailer. And I love this part of the trailer. We have John, like this is like a Western movie right here. And then we have John here killing some walkers like an absolute badass. I mean, John is quickly becoming one of my favorite characters. I think I'm safe to say that. I mean, I'm really liking John, and it's only been like one season with him, so I can't wait to see what to do more. But after he kills the walkers, he turns around and we have that person pointing the gun at him that I was talking about earlier. It most likely is that same guy who dropped the bag of guns in the town. And then it cuts to black there. And then we have Sarah, who is looking at this little poster. For a second I thought that would be Jim, but it's not Jim. I don't think so. But he's holding a beer, and Jim was fond of beer and stuff like that. So she makes a little joke saying that you missed a real shit show today, Jimbo. So obviously things are going really bad for him, and she's taking a minute to sit back and relax and just chill. So there were some really quick action sequences, and I completely skipped over a few things. First thing I want to talk about is this right here. We have Luciana on the table, and it looks like they're obviously doing something to her shoulder, because we saw in the previous scene that something happened to it. So they might be like removing a bullet or something, but this looks super painful, and they're holding her down, and June is doing like the operation. And then also I completely skipped over this dude, which is like probably the most important part about the trailer. I mean, I made a whole video talking about this guy, so if you want to go check it out. But yeah, this is the guy, a hazmat suit on. He has like a cord on him, and he has a gun. So I don't know, man. I mean, most scientists, they don't carry, guns with them. So I'm kind of scared about this guy. But I cannot wait to find out what's going on here. And they're finally bringing that whole military thing back, which I'm excited for. My goodness, this is going for a long time. I mean, I did say I'm going to do a shot-by-shot trailer. So I don't know if anybody's watching this still this long. People are probably skipping around the video. But if you're watching it at this time exactly, comment down below, Jimbo the Beer Man. I don't know, just comment that just so I can see if somebody's watching it, all the way through. That's gonna be interesting. And then we have Morgan here taking a shower in the rain, and he's taking off his ring, and this is interesting. But that scene I was talking about earlier with him giving that little motivational speech, so it just confirms here that he's talking to Alicia, because here he's saying that it shouldn't be easy, helping somebody. You can't just pick up a walkie and say, you need help. It should be hard. So it doesn't look like he's going to be talking to Alicia, and Alicia's going to have like, we see later on the trailer, she's going to have a deep moment, remembering her mom also. And then we have a couple of shots of everybody like very happy. We have June and John hugging it out, giving each other a kiss. We got Morgan and Al giving each other a hug, and they're all super happy. So this trailer is like all over the place, and it's like one moment they're happy, the next moment, actions happen all over the place. There's some sad emotion. So that's why, we're breaking down the trailer. Obviously, there's like little scenes here and there that we can piece together. But as a whole, this, like, I don't know how far they are into filming season 5. They're definitely not done, but I don't expect this trailer to be more than the 6. I'm assuming like it's the same thing how they do the trailers for the main show, like no more than the first 6 episodes. And I mean, if this is gonna be like the first 6 episodes, it looks like we're gonna have a real good 6 episodes. And then we have Alicia talking to Morgan, saying that my mom did everything to make sure we were standing here. So I like how they brought back, how they name dropped Madison, and I know a lot of fans still think Madison is alive. And you know what? Me too. Like, if they bring back Madison, it's going to be believable. Let's just say that. And I think it's going to be smart if they bring her back. I mean, I don't know if they will. I don't think they will. I think Kim Dickens actually had an interview recently saying that they most likely won't bring her back. But hey, I'm up for it. I think it'll be pretty cool. And then we have a couple of shots of the group just having a good time together, just, enjoying each other's presence. We have June and John here. We have Alicia smiling here. We got this is June, I believe, and then Al here, and they're just sitting here camping and they're looking at the stars. Another shot, I believe, of June and John. And then we have John on the radio, just messing around with his hat. That radio, man, I'm telling you, that radio is going to be a big play into the whole Walking Dead universe. No, I'm kidding. Maybe I'm looking into it too much. But yeah, that radio popped up like, what, 3-4 times now in this trailer? I don't know. And that radio tower, I do think it's going to be something going on here. And then we got Alicia. I believe that's her weapon. I remember from last season. Pretty cool weapon. We got some walkers here, and then we have another action sequence of them. I love this shot here. We got Alicia and the whole gang here. This is an awesome shot. We have this new character all the way in the back. Looks to be like maybe a teenager. So they're definitely gonna be running into like a group of young people, kids, teenagers. And then all the way here, look, we have John and June, and they're carrying, I believe that's Luciana. And that would make sense because in that previous shot earlier in the trailer where it looks like she's screaming and they're holding her down. So obviously she's going to get injured here. They're going to carry her to that building and, maybe remove like a bullet or whatever is stuck in her shoulder. And then this is the walker I was talking about. Oh my goodness. This guy got, he got messed up from the radiation. Maybe that was the experiments this group is doing. Maybe they're, doing something with radiation and walkers and seeing, what they're going to become. I don't know. But yeah, they're definitely doing something weird here. And then we have that plane that crashed. Obviously, this plane is, I don't think anybody's going to be able to use that plane. But there are other planes that we saw earlier. So I do think, they're going to get led to a community or a place that's going to have equipment for them to be able to travel far, which I think would further a crossover possibility, which is what they're saying is going to happen. Like, there's apparently like a crossover announcement coming up in the next week, so cannot wait for that. Definitely make a video as soon as I hear about it. And then we got another sequence of action. We got Morgan, Alicia, John, they're killing walkers, and then we have Morgan and Alicia killing these walkers, and it cuts to black. And then it cuts to a different scene where it's dark and they're standing here, and then Dwight comes from behind Morgan and says, Morgan. Morgan turns around and says, Dwight. Everybody's like, you guys know each other. And then Morgan lets out a laugh, and that's where the trailer ends. So awesome stuff. I cannot wait to see these two interact. They didn't interact that much. I can't even remember of a time they really talked to each other. It's not coming to my mind. Like, I can't think. I know they saw each other at times, like during that all-out war, the final battle, they saw each other. So they know each other, I'm assuming. But I don't think they ever really talked to one another. They might have done, like, off-screen because, you know, they've been, like, they don't have to show everything. So I'm assuming, yeah, they probably know each other. But, man, I cannot wait to see Dwight. It's been far too long without our boy Dwight. I mean, Dwight's one of those characters, like one of the newer characters in The Walking Dead that's super interesting. And I was a little sad that he left and he wasn't in season 9 at all, but I'm happy he's back at least in the universe in Fear season 5. But yeah, that was the trailer we got for Fear the Walking Dead season 5, coming back June 2nd. I cannot wait for it. It looks really promising. I was really surprised by that trailer. There's a lot of good stuff to look forward to with these planes and this new group we're running into. I cannot wait for it. I am gonna wrap it up there though. That was a very long trailer breakdown. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I didn't expect anybody to watch the entire thing. If you did, I love you. If you didn't, I still love you for even clicking on this video. But get down in the comments down below. Give me your thoughts and opinions on the trailer. You know, the airplane, Morgan, Dwight, you know, the new military group, whatever you think is going on, get down there. Let's start a conversation. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. For more Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead videos just like this, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you guys later.